I was talking about how the locals come up and pick over the pieces of the mine, and you can see there's a guy there metal detecting, looking for anything of value, scraps of value, which is interesting because the scrappers were here earlier, and then now we've got this guy who's doing his thing with a metal detector. I'm not even sure what he's looking for. I mean, pieces of lead, I wouldn't think it'd be worth his time, so maybe he's looking for, obviously looking for something of value, but I'm just not sure what. Thought I'd come and give you a closer look at some of these mine buildings here. This one doesn't look like it's got too much time left. If you remember, this is the one that had the black tar roof, if any of you recall. So I guess starting to sag right there, and then you can see the archway there has a definite sag. So I wouldn't want to camp under that. Looking inside, this may well have been office buildings or something like that. There's a lot of animal dung in here, so obviously the animals feel comfortable here. In fact, there's so much animal dung that I'm not going to walk through this. I was going to walk through this to get to the other section, but that's just a little too gross for me. So I'm going to go up and around. But interesting building all the same. I must not have been offices because there would be more rooms for that. It looks like the foundations and things right there. So maybe they had a bunch of generators in here or air compressors, who knows what. This is the side of that building that we are just in, and now I'm heading over to look at some of these others. I'm not sure why, but they bulldozed the hell out of this section here. If they're looking for anything of value or what, you know, like the scrappers doing this or what, but this section's been really worked over. I was just filming over there a minute ago, and I've come to these ravaged buildings right here. This rounded structure in front of me is that what I believe is a holding tank we looked down upon before, and there's a little access tunnel that runs back maybe 20 or 30 feet there underneath it. Not sure what the purpose of that was. Go take a closer look. But these buildings have definitely seen better days, I'm afraid. Alright, well that's the extent of that little access tunnel. I'm not sure what the purpose of this was. Looking up to some of the mill ruins there. Pretty dramatic, actually. And ruins down here. This site's really seen better days, I have to say. Here's that tank, and if you fell down there, you would not have any way out. That would not be fun. Working our way up through the mill ruins here. I mean, you can see where individual rooms were and such, but there's just no way of knowing now what their function was. It's just been too heavily damaged. Working our way through the ruins some more here. Obviously, some big pieces of machinery sat here, given the size of these foundations and all the bolts you can see there. Almost like a castle. Would have been something to see when this was all up and running. This is one of those foundations I was referencing where they obviously had something very large placed there. You see the same over there. And in front of me here, over there, you can actually see a bunch of grease. See all the grease right there? Obviously a piece of machinery there. Let's go check out those mines that are back in the hills there before we run out of light. This is interesting. I was talking about the scrappers here working the side over. Look how much stuff they got. Down looking at the ruins of the town, and there's some interesting building here. Wherever this was, it wasn't a church or a cathedral, even though it looks like one, because the communists wouldn't have been into that. And there's some interesting statuary over here. I don't know what this was. Your guess is as good as mine. It's very ornate, though. Some of the other buildings down here. Take a quick look inside. Who knows what this might have been. Obviously, home for a lot of animals now, though. Wow. Amazing how quickly things can fall apart, isn't it? Wish we had this good light earlier. Out in the grounds. Yeah, I have no idea what this building might have been, but it looks pretty majestic. A view of some of the stuff in the back. A large structure. Huh. For some reason, the issue with the water in the microphone got even worse at this point, so I'm just narrating at home. I thought this was really cool. I'm not even sure even what you call this. I would say it's a mural, but it's made out of tiles. So whatever it's called, this image in the Soviet style of the miners hard at work on the side of the building, I just thought was really cool. And I thought it was great that it hadn't been disturbed yet. Cool, huh?
You wash your dishes there, wash your clothes there.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh, it's really basic living there.
Yeah.
But they have like candles at night.
Probably.
Do they have water? Oh, they don't have any water.
Look at the creek.
And for a drink? Can I drink that?
Well, it's probably got a lot of lead in it, but you can't drink it.
Even if you can drink that?
What else are they gonna drink?
And that's suicidal?
What else are they gonna drink? I saw these piles of rock on Google Earth, and so I figured there had to be something here. And you can see there's an adit over there. And then one look at that water should tell you that there's an adit right there. And there's one right here. No other infrastructure around. There are the remains of a couple of foundations. And this area has had a bulldozer really work through it. So I can see some scraps of wood and such mixed in, but nothing much still there. So all we're really left with is these adits, and they themselves are not in the best of shape. Let's head in this one and see how things look. Looks like we got the remains of a miner's helmet there, possibly. Looking ahead, we're gonna get muddy, but that's part of my exploring. Okay, around the bend now, it really opens up. You can see also on the top, or the back, the adit as they call it, where they had cables for electricity and probably ventilation, who knows what else, right there as well. Pretty interesting colors here. I'm familiar with what galena looks like, but this is not galena. This is just straight up lead there after here. Very dark in here. Keeps running up that way. Alright, that's looking back the way I came in. And this is where that other adit takes off. Let me get over here a bit. See, it flows out that way. I thought it might take off over there, but it does not. Kind of funky looking water and stuff here. No surprise. And looking ahead, just takes off in the darkness. Must just go forever given the size of the waste rock outside. I will chase it as far as I can, but first I need to change my battery because the battery is just about dead. Ah, shit. I took a few more steps forward to what I thought was a dry spot to try and change out the battery, and both the hydrogen sulfide meter and the oxygen meter started screaming at me, so I got the hell out of there. Wow. You guys know I'll flirt with low oxygen, but low oxygen plus hydrogen sulfide is more than I think I want to tackle, especially out here in the middle of nowhere. Shit, that is a real disappointment. I was, that's got to just go back, you know, way underneath that mountain, and I can't even imagine what the stopes and such must be like back there. Man, that is a real disappointment. I was really hoping to see some more of that one. Damn. Of course, I didn't catch it on camera either. As soon as I turned the camera off, then it happened. I just took a few more steps ahead. Literally, no joke, no exaggeration. I just took a few more steps, and they both just went nuts. So that is a shame. Wow. Well, let's go take a look at that one. It makes me less optimistic, but let's go at least take a look at it. Alright, I'm in the portal of that adit we saw across the way here. You can see the other portals there and there. This one looks pretty solid. The portal here, you can see they put concrete all around it and up there. Unfortunately, I was looking farther back and it's caved back there, unfortunately. I don't know if that's coming across on the camera, but I took a still image and zoomed in, and that is unfortunately caved. I wish I had one of my exploring buddies with me, because I would be inclined to try and dig that out a bit and see if we get over or not. But I don't have much of my gear with me, and I don't have a backup with me, so unfortunately I'm going to leave this one for another trip. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed about this one, because those others got turned back by the gas, and like I said, this one I'd be willing to tackle if I had my gear with me. I don't even have a shovel or anything. I'd have to try and scoop that out with my hands, and nope, not doing that. Just arrived at the other site, and I was heading up this way because I could see some workings up there, but I was blocked by this. That's as far as I got. So I am going to head up a little ways on foot and just try and get a sense of the workings up there. However, in the distance over there, I see a portal, and that is almost perfectly in line with the last one we checked out. And so I'm wondering if perhaps that also feeds into it. The wind was just screaming through here, so I have to narrate this at home and try and remember what I was saying. Up there I'm pointing to where the road headed up to those upper workings. You can see one of the mine buildings there, and I was just pointing to that deep cut that I saw on Google Earth, and my impression is that those were all surface workings, and given the time pressure that I was experiencing at that point, I decided to not continue up there because we saw open pit workings earlier in the day, and to be fair, yeah, they can be interesting, but it doesn't have quite the same punch as going underground. So I'm just saying that I opted not to go up there, and I was explaining the rationale why. Now I'm showing you some of the other stuff down below that you can see from where we were, and now I'm going to hike off to that, add it in the distance. Those surface workings I was referencing are up there. I thought I'd just show you some of the buildings down here real quickly. This one I thought was interesting. You see it has a face painted on it right there. Some of the buildings here. Take a quick look inside. Again, these have been so stripped out, you know, it's just impossible to even tell what these once were. I mean, they punched a hole through the wall right here. And what was inside, I have no idea. Still down here checking out the buildings. This is that two-story building we passed on the way in. And this one seems more modern to me than some of those others we saw. I don't know what that says up there, but the fact there even is writing up there makes it seem more modern than the others we saw. This section here is caved. And there was some system down there, maybe even a hydroelectric system, but that's overgrown and flooded and hard to tell. Thought we'd take a quick peek inside this one. Well, we know we had electricity. There's looking up. And kind of a cool little wooden door right here. I don't know if that's original. The floors are gone here. And yeah, this has been hit by the scrappers as well, hit hard. I see what looks like bathroom tile. There's that blue, and then here as well. So I'm guessing these were the miners' barracks or big washroom here. Maybe a washroom, because see it's all tile there and there. So change room, washroom, who knows. Maybe the miners stayed in those barracks back at the first site we visited and just washed up and such here. Unfortunately, how much has been scrapped is really hard to tell. Here's that attic we saw off in the distance. I was filming from way up there before, and it looks like it's in good shape. I'd love to explore it, but I am out of time, guys. I have to get out of this area before dark, and don't have time to explore it because I'm already cutting it close, which I hate to do because this looks like a pretty cool one. You see all those insulators? That net of insulators hanging down right there? I've never seen anything like that before. It's just a solid string of insulators running back as far as I can see. That's really cool. There's one hanging down there too, right there. And you know, solid concrete portal here. I'm not sure if they hung drill steel there or what, but it's interesting, that rack. But yeah, I mean, look at this. This looks great. I don't feel any airflow, but I'd be willing to try it. Ground doesn't look too bad. So yeah, I'm really sorry I can't do this one, but out of time is out of time. Got to come back. More gear and more time. Absolutely got to come back. We're heading out now, trying to get ahead of the darkness, but it was such a good shot of that first site we visited. I had to stop and show this real quickly. That big pit is up there near the top, and of course down the bottom left, that's where that mill site was and the scrappers and such were. But that gives you a pretty good sense of how large those waste rock piles were, just how much material they took out of that mountain. There's always a lot of excitement in developing countries. In this case, we have a huge tractor trailer truck that's broken down and blocked the only way out. And they've brought an excavator from the mining village to try and pull it or push it out. It's hard to say. It looks like push it out. Outstanding. We thought we were going to spend the night here. What a mess. I love it. Bonding with all the local Kazakhs. You can see all the traffic that's built up behind here. Let's go focus on the action here.
He's pushing the wheel. What is it?
I don't know. I think he's got to take another push at it. Maybe not.
What is this?
Don't know. Get from this guy.
This guy was like
This guy's a
applause,
hero.
you know. See, look at all these two.
Yeah, the guy's a hero.
Now what did they must have pushed it in the river.
No, I don't think they would have done that. I think, well, we'll see where it got pushed. It got pushed out of the way, though, I know that. There it is. Just coasted down the hill.
Yeah.
And that was enough to get it out of the way.
I don't understand what if the driver of the truck, you know. That's what I know. That's what gets me. What is the driver?
Well, the driver was inside the truck when it got pushed out of the way.
Ah. It's like we have this van now in front of us.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? I'm just glad we're not spending the night here,
Yeah.
like we expected.
Very nice.
Good stuff.
That's
Good stuff.